Hi everyone, Annette Kixler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you some ink techniques for art journaling. So our first technique is simple, it's stamping, and I have here a 1-inch square stamp that I'm going to stamp on my art journal page. And basically what I'm going to make are shapes created by the stamp. I have a few design of these 1-inch square stamps, and what I'm going to do is making curved lines with those stamps. And you can stamp very creatively on your art journal page. You don't just need to make a stamp on a page and use it as is. You can use the stamp to create new shapes with this stamp. Now I'm just going to add some curved lines with a pen, and then I'm going to show you how you can use your ink not just for stamping but also for coloring and painting. Just going to finish those curved lines. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my ink pad, and this will basically work with any ink pad that you have, any kind. You can use distress inks or dye inks. It will work with any of those. I'm just adding a few details to my page. So what you're going to do is take your ink pads. I'm going to use all kinds of colors, and I have here my cover for the desk, and I'm going to spritz that ink with water, or you can use a water brush like I'm doing. And basically what I'm doing is I'm adding water to the ink after dabbing it on my plastic surface, and I'm creating color. It's basically creating watercolor by mixing the ink with water. So this is our second technique of creating watercolors or other type of colors. We're not going to call them watercolors. Creating paints from ink, using ink for painting and coloring surfaces on my art journal page. So it's basically two techniques in one. It's coloring and painting as well. I'm just adding a little bit of white acrylic paint, and then I'm going to add more coloring to my page using inks. This is a really good way to add color without using acrylic paints or watercolors. And the ink is very durable, so it will stay on your page, it will not fade, and it's a really great way to use your inks. And of course you can mix and match. So you can basically mix different colors of ink to create new colors if you want. All you need is a non-porous surface like the plastic that I'm working on. You need to dab your ink pad directly onto that surface and then add water. If you want, you can mix it with another ink color. So that is also a really cool technique to use your inks, not just for stamping, but also for coloring and painting. So I'm just adding some more color to my page, adding details, mixing my ink colors on the surface of the paper. That is also an option. Another technique, this is technique number 4, you can mix your ink, as you can see that I'm doing on the right, with modeling paste. And basically what I'm doing is coloring, giving my modeling paste color. Instead of leaving it white, I'm dabbing the ink pad and then mixing it, the ink that I have on my surface, I'm mixing it with modeling paste. And this way I'm coloring the modeling paste and giving it a different color than white. So I've used yellow, and now I'm using green. And now you have colored modeling paste that you can stencil or add to your art journal page. Isn't that cool? And it's all with ink. You added the colors. You added a color to your modeling paste with ink. So I'm using my fingers. You can use a palette knife. You can use a brush to add that modeling paste to your art journal page. And this way you can customize your modeling paste to any color that you want. And I'm using the same inks that I used to create the paint to mix with the modeling paste, and this way they all match. So this is another great technique that you can do. I'm adding a few more stars with this stencil, this time with a palette knife, not my fingers. Again, it's mixed with modeling paste. So it's a really great way to use another technique with your ink. Just going around the stars with my black pen to make them pop out even more. So we basically had 4 different ink techniques that I've incorporated in my art journal page. And of course you can do that for scrapbook pages, for cards, for whatever project that you want. And it's just another way to use inks. And of course you can use inks. This is the 5th technique. That's just regular stenciling with a sponge. You dab your sponge on your ink pad to lift the ink, and then you can stencil it. Technique number 6 is direct stamping with the sponge on your page without a stencil and without a stamp, just with the sponge. So you take your sponge, you pick up the ink, and then you stamp directly on the page. So basically had 6 different ink techniques that you can use on your art journal page. I really hope you like this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video, so you won't miss anything and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. So I really hope you will give a try to all 6 techniques, or the ones that you like better. I remind you, we had regular stamping with a stamp, then we had coloring, we had painting, we had mixing with modeling paste, we had direct stamping to the page, and then we had regular stenciling with the sponge. So 6 techniques. I hope you like them. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.